Hi, Tom here, and we are going to do our cool down section of our home cardiac exercises.
So this whole cool down will last about 10 minutes. If you like, follow along with me. To start us off, we've got the bicep curl heel dig. You can notice that all the exercises performed are more slower and deliberate than they are in the warm up. If you are feeling deconditioned, you can always do this seated. Otherwise, continue to do it stood up. This is followed by a light march, chest lifted, shoulders back and down, hips in line with shoulders, lifting the heels, toes coming down first. Followed by a side tap upright row again, squeezing the shoulder blades, making this quite a deliberate action. You can always perform this seated if you prefer. Look at that smiley happy face there. Back into a light march. Going into an arm sway rear tap, opposite arm to opposite leg on this one. Back into a light march. Now hands clapping forward and back. We're trying to get our hands right behind the back, squeezing those shoulder blades back, opening up the chest here. Often if we find ourselves seated for quite a long time, we'll find our shoulders will pronate or roll in. So this next stretch, we're really looking to open up the chest, pull the shoulders back, still lifting the heels as I do it. Hopefully my wife will come back up so you can actually see the stretch rather than my legs just going up and down. And there we go. Going to hold this one for approximately 15 seconds. 10 to 15 seconds. I'm still looking happy as ever there. And we're back in for a march. Oh, little hint of a smile. So opposite arm, opposite leg, tapping the toe forward and raising that arm to shoulder height. Palm facing up as if I'm feeling for rain. We'll see this side on as well. Really try to turn the thumb out as you do this. You feel a light stretch in the forearm. Again, if you are feeling deconditioned, we can do this seated. Or here we go, we can do it behind a chair. So a lot of these, if you are feeling that you want to do it stood, but your balance betrays you a little, you can always hold a chair and do some of these exercises behind the chair. Tricep stretch now. You can do this one seated if you prefer. So putting the hand behind your head, placing your hand just below the elbow to assist that stretch. If it won't quite go that high, that's absolutely fine. Notice I'm still lifting my heels throughout this stretch to help that blood returning back to the heart. Holding this one for approx 10 to 15 seconds before swapping arms. Reach up tall, place that hand back and down. And let's see as the camera comes back up. Has he still got a face like a slap behind? Yes, he has. The last few movements have focused around the shoulders. So we're just going to roll these up, back and down to give them a bit of mobility. And back to a light march again. Into a backward toe tap now. This one will set us up for a calf stretch. You can always do this holding the chair. If you're doing it seated, just go for a forward toe tap for me rather than the backward toe tap. Coming into the calf stretch now, place the toe behind you and lower the heel. If you can't feel this in the lower part of your leg, then adjust it to move your foot slightly further back. We're looking to hold this stretch for approximately 20 seconds. Any balance issues, you can always widen the stance or hold the back of a chair. I will shortly show you this seated version of this as well for anyone doing it seated. All the time looking to keep the heel in line with the toe. Head is over hips. So coming on now to the seated option. Sitting on the front third of the chair, still looking happy there. Sitting tall. Bent at the knee, turning my toe up towards the roof as if I'm trying to show someone the bottom of my foot. I've done a few different demonstrations here, so make sure that you do both legs for approximately 20 seconds. So initially we're going to go into a light march, and this is then going to be followed up by a heel dig. The heel dig is going to set us up for our hamstring stretch coming up next. So coming into a hamstring stretch now, placing the one heel out in front of us, hand on the top of the leg, and we're hinging at the hip. You'll notice my chest is lifted, my chin is level with the floor, and I'm looking forward, not down. Sticking my bum backwards, but keeping my back quite flat so that chest is still lifted. I'm going to hold that for approximately 20 seconds. If you want, do it 20 seconds, come out, do it on the other leg, and then do the whole thing twice through. We'll have a look at the seated option now. So our front third of the chair, chest lifted, shoulders back and down, lead leg is straight, hands on the bent leg, and again I'm looking out in front of me, chest is lifted, hinging at the hips and almost trying to create a light arc in the lower part of my back. Holding up to about 20 seconds, changing over legs when you're ready, and if you want you can do this twice through on each leg. So if you need to, just pause the video while you do your stretches, and then we're going to come back up and we're back in to a little side tap. If you prefer, you can always do this seated or stood behind the chair, holding the back of the chair for a bit of support. And I'm still looking as happy as ever there. Moving on to the quadricep stretch, I can either take the back of my trouser leg, back of my shoe, or the shoelaces itself, which I'm trying to replicate, showing the three there. I'll show this side on, stood nice and tall, and I'm holding that stretch for approximately 15 seconds. If you opt not to do this stretch, just have a light march instead. Alternatively, you can look to put the leg closest to the chair flat on it. You need to be on the front part of the chair. Other leg is supporting you. And I'm pushing my hips forward to feel up that front part of the leg there. Again, holding this stretch for approximately 15 seconds before swapping legs. So if you need to, just pause this section of the video and then come back to it when you've done your stretches. Into a very light march before coming into some adapted Tai Chi. Making a nice base for myself, feet about shoulder width, chest lifted, shoulders back and down, nice soft knees. Concentrating on the breathing and just kneading my hands for an imaginary object. Slowly lifting up to shoulder height, opening my hands up and with my breath letting them fall down. Do this side on as well. So moving the hands through, still concentrating on my breathing, inhaling up, gently exhaling back down. Keep that belly button slightly braced, so we're drawing it in just ever so gently. I'll do this seated as well. I'm going to do approximately 5 repetitions of this. feet are planted, we're going to gently inhale up, palms coming forward, and just let the hands float back down. So inhaling gently up and gently exhaling back down. These aren't huge breaths, but we're just controlling the breathing. Now we're circling round with the hand when we get to about sternum height, taking up to about eye height, and circling up, round and down, nice and relaxed. To finish, we're going to have nice soft knees, bringing the hands across your centre of your body. Inhale gently up and exhale down, and one more, gently inhale up and exhale back down again.
Okay, hope you're feeling nice and relaxed. Your heart rate has come back down to where, and you're breathing where it's the same as when you started. Get my words out. And I hope you all enjoyed that. Take care.